Have you ever woken up, not suddenly, not from a nightmare, not because of a sound, but for no clear reason at all, just awake, your eyes still closed, your body still heavy, your mind not fully there yet, but something feels off, something feels different. You can't explain it. You don't hear anything unusual. You don't see anything yet, but deep down, there's a quiet signal in your brain telling you something has changed. And the strangest part is you don't know what it is. So you stay still. You don't move. You don't open your eyes. You just lay there, listening, waiting, trying to understand that feeling. And then it gets stronger. Not louder, just clearer, like a thought forming slowly in the back of your mind. You are not alone. That idea doesn't come from logic. It doesn't come from evidence. It comes from instinct. The same kind of instinct your ancestors relied on to survive in the dark, to sense danger before they could see it, to react before it was too late. And in that moment, lying there in your bed, that ancient instinct wakes up, even if just for a second. So slowly, very slowly, you open your eyes. At first, there's nothing, just darkness, soft outlines of familiar things. Your ceiling, your walls, your furniture, everything is where it should be. Everything looks normal, but that feeling, it doesn't go away. So you look around, carefully, quietly, and then you see it. A shape right next to your bed. Still, silent, watching. Your eyes adjust just enough to recognize it. It's your cat, sitting there, perfectly still, looking directly at you, not blinking, not moving, not reacting, just staring. And suddenly, that small, familiar animal feels completely different. Because in that moment, it's not acting like a pet, it's acting like something else. Something older, something more instinctive, something that doesn't need sound or movement to be understood. And that's the moment most people don't know how to explain. They laugh it off later. They tell themselves it's nothing. But in that exact second, when your eyes meet your cat's in the dark, there's a brief feeling that something deeper is happening, and they're not wrong, because what you're seeing is not random behavior. It's not meaningless. It's not just your cat being weird. It's something built into its nature, something that has existed long before your home, long before your bed, long before you, because your cat is a predator, not in the way people usually think. Not aggressive, not dangerous in your environment, but precise, observant, extremely aware. Cats are not designed to chase endlessly like dogs. They are designed to wait, to watch, to study, to understand every movement, every pattern, every change. Because in the wild, they don't get unlimited chances. They don't waste energy. They don't act without purpose. They observe first, always. And that ability never left them. Even now, even in a quiet bedroom, even in the middle of the night, that instinct is still there, working silently, in the background. And when you sleep, that's when it activates the most. Because when you sleep, you change. You become slower, quieter, more predictable. Your breathing becomes steady. Your body relaxes. Your movements become small, subtle, almost invisible. But not to your cat. To your cat, those small movements are signals. Your chest rising, falling, again and again, creates a rhythm, a pattern, something to follow. Your fingers twitch slightly. Your face shifts. Your eyes move beneath your eyelids. Tiny details. But to a predator, those details matter because movement means life. Movement means awareness. Movement means something is happening. So when your cat sits there, watching you sleep, it's not doing nothing. It's doing everything it knows how to do. Observing, analyzing, understanding. And the longer it watches, the more information it gathers. The more patterns it recognizes. The more familiar you become. But here's the part that changes how you see everything. Because your cat doesn't just observe movement, it tries to understand what you are. Not just who you are, but what you are. To you, you are human. To your cat, you are something much harder to define. You are large. You are powerful. You move unpredictably. You make noise. You disappear. You return. You control the environment. And yet, you also provide safety, food, comfort, warmth. So in your cat's mind, you are both familiar and unknown. And that combination creates curiosity, a constant need to observe, to study, to understand. And there is no better time to do that than when you are asleep. Because when you sleep, you stop controlling your behavior. You stop reacting. You stop interacting. You become still, quiet, almost lifeless. And that triggers something very specific because in nature, stillness has meaning. If something stops moving, stops reacting, stops responding, it usually means one thing. It's no longer alive. And your cat knows that, not as a thought, but as a deeply ingrained instinct. So when you lie there for hours, barely moving, barely reacting, your cat becomes curious. It needs to confirm. It needs to understand. So it gets closer, slowly, carefully, step by step. It watches your chest. It listens to your breathing. It studies your face. And if nothing changes, it moves even closer until it's right next to you. Close enough to see every detail, close enough to notice every small movement. And sometimes it reaches out, a gentle touch, a soft tap, not aggressive, not forceful, just enough to get a reaction. And when you move, even slightly, that's enough. That's confirmation. You're alive. Everything is normal. And in that moment, your cat relaxes, but it doesn't leave. It stays. Because now something else takes over. Something quieter. Something more emotional. Because your cat is not just observing you, it's connected to you in ways that are easy to miss. Cats may not show affection like dogs. They don't always seek attention. They don't always respond the way you expect. But they form bonds, strong ones, and those bonds become most visible in quiet moments like the middle of the night when there are no distractions, no noise, no movement, just you and your cat in the same space, sharing the same environment, breathing the same air. And in that stillness, your cat chooses to stay near you, not because it has to, but because it wants to. It sits by your head. It watches you. It listens to your breathing. And in that moment, there is something almost peaceful about it. A silent connection. No sound. No words. No movement. Just presence. But even in that calm, there is still something else. Something subtle. Something that makes the entire experience feel just slightly uncomfortable. Because sometimes your cat doesn't blink at all. It just stares, completely focused, completely still. And that kind of stare means something very specific. It means attention, full attention, no distraction, no hesitation, just awareness locked onto one thing. And in that moment, that thing is you. Every breath you take, every movement you make, every shift in your body is being tracked perfectly. Not because your cat wants to harm you, not because it sees you as prey, but because that's what it does best. Observe, understand, adapt. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night and you see your cat sitting there in the dark, watching you, don't just ignore it. Don't just laugh it off. Because now you understand something most people don't. There is a reason behind it. A real reason. A natural reason. It's instinct. It's curiosity. It's connection. All happening at the same time. And maybe that's why it feels the way it does. Not dangerous. Not threatening. But not completely comfortable either. Because for a brief moment, you're not just the owner anymore. You're something being observed. Something being understood. In complete silence. So tonight, when the lights go off and the room goes quiet and you drift into sleep, just remember this. You might not be the only one awake, because somewhere in the dark, without making a sound, without moving at all, your cat might already be watching. And maybe the strangest part of all of this is not the fact that your cat watches you, it's how comfortable it is while doing it. Think about it. There is no fear, no hesitation, no uncertainty. Your cat doesn't question what it's doing. It doesn't second guess itself. It simply sits there in complete silence, completely aware, completely present, watching you as if this moment matters. And in a way, it does. Because for your cat, this is one of the few times where everything slows down, where there are no sudden movements, no loud sounds, no distractions, just you in your most natural state, still, quiet, unaware. And that gives your cat something rare, time to observe without interruption, time to understand without noise, time to exist in pure awareness. And that's something humans almost never experience anymore. We are always moving, always thinking, always distracted. But your cat is different. It doesn't need constant stimulation. It doesn't need explanation. It simply experiences the moment exactly as it is. And when it looks at you, in the middle of the night, it's not just seeing you. It's studying a pattern, a rhythm, a presence it has grown familiar with over time. And maybe that's why that stare feels so intense, because it's not empty. It's not meaningless. It's focused. It's intentional. It's aware. And for a brief moment, without saying a single word, without making a single sound, your cat understands you in a way that most people never will. Not through language, not through logic, but through observation, through presence, through time. So the next time it happens, the next time you wake up and you see those eyes in the dark, don't just turn away. Don't just go back to sleep immediately. Pause for a second, look back, and realize you're being seen, not judged, not threatened, just seen. And in a strange way, that might be one of the most honest forms of connection you'll ever experience.